Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Counselor Geisler,
Here.
Housechild,
Here.
Peterson,
Here.
Mayor Boucher.
Here. Announcements. Are there any counselors that have announcements to make this evening? Okay, moving on to public hearing. We have a public hearing on the 2022 fee schedule, increase of planning and zoning fees. Mr. Mulder?
So every year we review the fee schedule and we make adjustments to some of the fees. And this year we looked at specifically some of the planning and zoning fees along with the utility charges and stuff like that. And the planning and zoning fees required us to have a public hearing. So that's where we're at tonight. I'll find it here a second. So we're proposing to increase a couple of the planning and zoning fees as people make applications.
Thank you. Do we have any questions or comments from council? Is there anyone here in the public that wishes to give testimony or make comments to the council on the planning and zoning fee proposed increases? If you're online or present in the building, please state your name and address for the record. Is there any public comment on the 2022 fee schedule increase? We will move on to the next item. We have no presentations this evening. At this meeting, public discussion. This is the time that individuals can address the council about any item not on the agenda. We ask that you limit your time to 3 minutes per person. Is there anyone either present or online that wishes to address the council? If so, state your name and address for the record. Any public discussion this evening? Hearing no public discussion, we'll move on to the consent agenda consisting of minutes and accounts payable. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Peterson, second by Counselor Geisler. Roll call, please.
Counselor Housechild.
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
Geisler,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. No motions this evening. Under ordinances, we have the first reading of ordinance 2021-09, an ordinance amending a code of ordinances, section 270, fee schedule. The second reading, public input on this and vote will be in 2 weeks, Mr. Mulder.
That's correct.
Resolutions. Resolution 2021-122. Resolution approving change order number 2 for road improvement district number 537, Lake Junction Road. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Counselor Housechild, second by Counselor Geisler. Mr. Mulder, should we have our city engineer address this?
Since he's here, let's.
Mr. Balf?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So this is change order number 2 for the Lake Junction. There's 5 pieces to this. The first one is in regards to some driveways. We encountered some ledge rock and we need to clear some trees and put a couple of new culverts in and add some riprap for that. The second piece is we had some water services that we reduced the cover with our new ditch grade. So we insulated the water services. We adjusted the ditch grade and some culverts associated with that. The third item is we installed some new castings. The original plan were to utilize the existing castings and those were not in good condition. So we decided to add castings. And then items 4 and 5 are kind of connected, and these both have to do with the subcut or the subgrade of the roadway. When we were excavating, there was a lot of wet and organic material that we encountered. And between the Public Works Director, myself, and Braun, we determined and directed the contractor to remove that material and replace it with granular borrow to firm up and stabilize that road. And that is the bulk of the change order for a total of $147,281.10.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from council?
Just to clarify, the completion date, that was extended as well? to-
Yes, so part of this change order, we extended the completion date to October 16th.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from council? Is there any public input on this resolution? If so, state your name and address for the record. Is there any public input on resolution 2021-122? Roll call, please.
Counselor Peterson,
Aye.
Geisler,
Aye.
Housechild. Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Resolution 2021-123, resolution approving pay request number 6 for road improvement district number 537, Levake Junction Road to Yulin Brothers Incorporated in the amount of $224,407.10. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Counselor Peterson, second by Counselor Housechild. Mr. Mulder, should we have the city engineer address this one again?
Sure.
Mr. Ball?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor and Council. So this is the next pay estimate for Levake Junction to Yulin Brothers. This is another partial pay estimate. The bulk of this is the change order number 2 that you just previously approved for an amount of $224,407.10.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from council? Is there any public input on this resolution? If so, state your name and address for the record. Is there any public input on resolution 2021-123, the pay request for the Levake Junction Road? Roll call, please.
Counselor Geisler,
Aye.
Housechild.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Resolution 2021-124, resolution approving a special use permit for the construction of a 2-family home in an R3 residential zoning district. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Geisler, second by Counselor Peterson. Mr. Mulder, should we have Mr. Johnson address this?
Sure.
Eric?
Great, thank you very much. Before us this evening is a special use permit for the construction of a 2-family residential structure. This property is located at 4012 Ugstad Road. This had originally been a 5-acre property that was subdivided by way of a flag lot earlier this summer. The applicant before us this evening purchased basically the parent property of that lot with 2.2 acres on it and an existing home and an outbuilding. Since the purchase, the applicant has demolished the existing home associated with the lot for the purpose of constructing this 2-family home at its future date here. This lot does meet or exceed all the requirements associated with the 2-family home in an R3 zoning district, not only from lot area, but also lot width and setbacks.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from council? Is there any public input on this resolution? If so, please state your name and address for the record. Is there any public input on resolution 2021-124, a special use permit? Roll call, please.
Counselor Housechild.
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
Geisler,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Resolution 2021-125, resolution approving change order number 7 for sewer improvement district number 448. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion by Counselor Housechild, second by Counselor Geisler. Mr. Mulder, should we turn this one over to the engineer again?
Sure.
Mr. Ball.
Yep. Thank you, Mayor and Council. So this is change order number 7 for the trunk sewer spur project. There's 6 items associated with this change order. Number 1 is that we added 5 galvanized gates at select locations. Item 2 is we originally had shouldering along the trail within the Stebner Park. We didn't feel that was the best use, so we asked them to remove the shouldering and we put some sod and seed and blanket in that area. And we also, there was also some rocks that we placed in select locations along the trail. Item 3 is adjust castings along the trunk sewer alignment. We originally had the contractor set the castings at the plan elevation. Based on the location of the trail and the topography, we adjusted the finished grade. Therefore, there's 6 or 7 castings that we adjusted, and they're entitled to get paid for that work. Item 4 is COVID-19 delay claim. The contractor wrote us a letter last year stating a delay that they had caused by COVID-19. Specifically, they could not get into the homes to do the preconditioned blast surveys, which delayed the blasting and in turn delayed the contractor being able to install the pipe. So we've reviewed that claim. We feel it's valid and fair and are recommending that we pay that. Items 5 and 6 are both deducts from the contract. Item 5 is an MPCA fine, and that $10,530 is a city portion, but our contracts documents state that the contractor assumes all responsibility for that stormwater permit and also assumes any fines that are levied against the project. So they're in agreement to that. And item 6 is there was portions of the trail that were paved that we deemed unacceptable, and the contract documents allow us to accept the trail at a reduced or deduct. And we came to an agreement with the contractor of a lump sum of $50,000. So the balance of these 6 items are an increased cost of $20,822.86.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from council?
Just clarifying that oh, sorry, Natalie,
It's okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
that this doesn't include the punch list items.
Correct. And one other thing to add is we extended the contract completion date to October 16th of this year.
That was my point. Thank you for addressing that.
Punch list items will be done,
By then.
and the items, the gates that are on this change order.
Yes.
Any other questions or comments? Is there any public input on this resolution? If so, please state your name and address for the record. Is there any public input on resolution 2021-125, change order number 7? Roll call, please.
Counselor Peterson,
Aye.
Geisler,
Aye.
Housechild.
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Resolution 2021-126, resolution approving pay request number 14 for sewer improvement district number 448 to Utility Systems of America Incorporated in the amount of $175,610.15. Do we have a motion?
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Peterson, second by Counselor Housechild. Mr. Mulder, should we have Mr. Balf address this?
He's
again?
on a roll, so let's let him go.
Yeah.
Gonna be glad you stayed.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor and Council. So this is pay application number 14 for our trunk sewer project. This pay estimate does a couple of things. There's some small miscellaneous items that we're paying for. We are also paying for a portion of change order 7 that you just previously approved. And we're only paying for 10% of that change order because the gates that we added are not in, so we're withholding that money. And then the bulk of this pay estimate is the reduction of the retainage that we've been withholding. So the state statutes allows us to withhold 250% of the value of the remaining work. So that the dollar amount that we're withholding is based on 250% of the work that's left on the punch list. And so the pay app is $175,610.15.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from council?
I just want to thank David and staff for all the work to get us to this point. This has been a great addition, a lot of hard work to get us to this point. Unfortunately, there was just a few situations at the end, but we've worked through those and just happy to kind of see this at a final point, almost final. But thank you, David, for all of your work on this. I know it's not been easy all the time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I just would like to clarify the amount of retainage is the 73,760.
Yes.
And I agree. Thank you, David, for navigating through this at the end.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Anything else from council? Is there any public input on resolution 2021-126? If so, please state your name and address for the record. Is there any public input on pay request number 14 for sewer improvement district number 448? Roll call, please.
Counselor Geisler,
Aye.
Housechild,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Resolution 2021-127, resolution approving amendments to planned unit development for the plat of Pine View. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Peterson, second by Counselor Housechild. Mr. Johnson?
Sure.
Thank you very much. What this is this evening is amendments to plans and development associated with plan development. This project was approved back in 2005. There was a plat done at that time, as well as plan development. At that point, the project had been approved as a sustainable only development. And then in 2010, the owner of the project made the request to the city council that a number of lots be modified and the underlying development plan be modified in order to allow single family homes in addition to twin home projects. At that time, the development plan was created and identified specific lots that would have single family homes associated with it. The plat did not change. What it required is that 2 lots be utilized for the purpose of 1 single family home. 4 of these lots fell under this. It's lots 22. Once again, from this area where they had a single family home designation. The applicant purchased 2 of these lots, lots 18 and 20, earlier this summer, for the purpose of creating or building a twin home or 2-family home farm. He was notified at that point that due to the development plan, they only allowed for single family. The applicant and staff discussed the ability to submit for potential modification to the which would then bring us back into compliance or basically back to the original approval that these 2 lots, the lots 19 and 20, could have a twin home. Once again, the plat will stay the same. The last one portion of that foothold. And then there are existing utilities that are in the right of way for utilities individually. So once again, this is bringing it back into what it originally envisioned for the development. We will address these two lots exclusively with CP 20. There was not any application to talk for.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from council?
Just happy to see this come to this resolution. So sorry for the additional work on this.
Anything else? Is there any public input on resolution 2021-127? If so, please state your name and address for the record. Is there any public input on the amendment to the plan unit development for the plat of Pineview? Roll call, please.
Counselor Housechild,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
Geisler,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Resolution 2021-128, resolution approving preliminary and final plat of Red Tail Hawk and imposing conditions on the final plat. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Geisler, second by Counselor Housechild. Mr. Johnson.
Great, thanks again. Before us is a approval of preliminary and final plat as well as preliminary and final PUD associated with the Red Tail Hawk subdivision. My staff report will encompass both of those. There are two separate resolutions associated with this. Earlier this summer, the applicant had the ability to purchase two adjoining properties. One is located at 5189 West Arrowhead Road, which had a little over 31 acres associated with it, as well as this single family home. The other property they purchased is 4371 Charles Drive, which has once again a single family home. The applicant has purchased both these properties for the purpose of essentially redefining the existing lots within there and the creation of 5 new residential lots. At that time, the discussion between staff and city attorney, the applicant, and the applicant directed to a plat. So what they're proposing this evening is the creation of 3 new lots which would take access up the Arrowhead Road. There will be the existing home, which still sits there. There will be 2 lots adjacent to that, which have a flag lot sort of configuration. And then to the east of that is another single family lot. Along Groves Bridge, there will be 3 lots, one of which is the existing home that exists today. Right now, that home runs parallel to the property runs parallel to Groves Bridge. As part of this proposed plat, that property is now oriented perpendicular to Groves Bridge. And by doing that, it has a creation, the ability to create another R3 style lot just to the north of it with 100 feet of lot frontage, and then another flag lot just to the north of that, which that's associated with right of way. Before us this evening is a strictly land split of land subdivision. The rationale why this was proposed in development is that 3 flag lots, once again, 2 on Arrowhead and 1 on Groves Bridge. Since they are less than 100 feet of lot frontage from the R3 zoning, that is why we have that ability to look at lot size, etc.
Thank you. Do we have any questions or comments from council? With none, is there any public input on this resolution? If so, state your name and address for the record. Is there any public input on resolution 2021-128? With no public input, I'd ask for a roll call.
Counselor Peterson,
Aye.
Geisler,
Aye.
Housechild,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. Next is resolution 2021-129. Resolution approving preliminary and final planned unit development for BMAX Incorporated. Do we have a motion?
Motion, Sorry, motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Counselor Peterson, second by Counselor Housechild. Mr. Johnson?
Yes, this is just the planned unit development associated with the plat that was just previously approved.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from council? Is there any public input on this resolution, either in chambers or online? If so, please state your name and address for the record. Is there any public input for resolution 2021-129, a preliminary and final planned unit development? Hearing none, could we have a roll call, please?
Counselor Geisler,
Aye.
Housechild,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
Mayor Boucher.
Aye. And with that, we need a motion to recess.
Motion to recess?
Second.
Motion by Counselor Peterson, second by Counselor Geisler. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Thank you all.